You don't really have to go too far from home to find adventure a lot of times. You just got to know where to look. The Hudson River Ice Yacht Club is like a real adventure here in the Hudson Valley. Every time that the ice comes in and those boats go out, it's the real opportunity to do something special.
My name's Reed Bielenberg. I grew up in the Hudson Valley in Garrison in the Hudson Highlands. I joined the Hudson River Ice Yacht Club about 1970, so that would be 53 years now. Oh yes, of course I remember my first ride. It was, it was in the cockpit with Ray Ruge at Croton Point on Hudson. It was, an extraordinary first ride. I remember the day vividly. I mean, it was just my introduction to the sport and all the different people involved in it at the time, and they've kind of remained lifelong friends of mine. I think that's what's so extraordinary about the sport of ice boating is this community of people that have for generations carried on the sport. I mean, we're all just like a link in the chain. The people that I knew people before them. It just goes right back to the beginning of the sport on the Hudson River.
My name is Glenn Berger.
And I'm Sarah Love.
And we have an ice boat. So the boat that we have is called the Hound. It's a 25-foot Hudson River ice yacht. It was built probably around the turn of the century, maybe late 1800s, early 1900s. It was owned by the Astor family. My father got a hold of it just about the time when I was born. The boat was put in our garage and stayed there until about 1990 when I graduated from college. And I had known the boat was there. My father had told me the story about how it came to be in the garage. So after I graduated, I said, let's get this thing going. Anytime there was ice, we started to get the boat down there and out on the ice, and just over the years it progressed. Our knowledge and our understanding of the sport progressed, and we came to enjoy it more and more. That's how the Bergers got into ice boating.
I always think about how Emerson how could he have known that when he brought that boat out in 1967 that it would lead to so many family memories and time spent with Glenn, his son, who was born that same year. You know, they were like inseparable. If there was ice, that's what they did together.
My name is Brian Reed. I am 62 years old. I live in Red Hook, New York. First time I went out sailing was 1990 down in Ryan Cliff. A friend of mine had said there's these ice boats that were sailing. I'd never heard of them before, even though I'd lived here all these years. Yeah, when you've got a good year and a lot of our boats come out, it's exciting because for some of us, we're seeing friends for the first time. Perhaps a couple of winters ago was the last time we saw them bringing out their boats. Parents with their kids on a sled. We usually have a fire going, a grill, and we'll have a pot of soup, or we'll be making pancakes, and there's dogs running around, and people are bringing down their ice skates. So it's kind of a rare opportunity, a chance to meet your neighbors. It's kind of a chance to see other folks come out, and it's almost always there's a handful of old timers say, oh, I remember back when I was a kid, and they're thinking back 60 years ago or 70 years ago perhaps, and my neighbor, my uncle, my father, we had ice boats, or I haven't seen these in a long time. And it just, that whole scene of when you have a big collection of boats out there and people coming down and gawking and getting rides, and harkens back to another time that I think is kind of lost. It's just a kind of a unique coming together of community on the ice. People appreciating the beauty of these old boats, and it's a scene that you could just transplant yourself back to 1885, and there's a whole bunch of boats out on the ice and people doing something very similar. Maybe dressed a little differently, but that idea of the beauty and the nostalgia and the coming together of community is very compelling.
The ice boat community is a kind of a mix of hippies and old farmers and bureaucrats who all love one thing, sailing on the ice in the winter. It's a very close-knit group of friends. In spite of our many differences in the way we live, when we're on the ice, we're there to help each other.
If there were ice, club members would all call each other up and sort of make a plan to move the boats, but you and Emerson, you were a built-in team that you could more easily prepare, get the boat on the truck and get ready to get out there as soon as you could, because it was a priority. As soon as there were conditions that allowed for ice boating, you and Emerson were there. You really could enjoy a lot of time on the ice together.
Yeah. When it came time for us to try to get into the sport, we already had this club there waiting for us, and we were able to reach out to people that had a lot of knowledge and hook up with a network of individuals and that would help us get the boat out, figure the boat out, and start to sail the boat.
My name's Kate Shooter.
And Doc Shooter.
About 21 years. And we've been a member of the Hudson River Ice Yacht Club. Even though we don't get on the ice as much, there's still like 2 big parties a year where everyone gets together and has a big potluck and shares stories and hopes and dreams. But it's still a community, and some people get together even if there's no ice boating. It is sad that we're not all on the ice together too, but we've made many friends, good friends. As far as changes in the ice boating community, we've lost many older folks that were one of the first around here to be ice boating and restoring old boats, and had so many stories to tell. So the loss of those folks is sad.
Like 2014 was a great year, and then we've had a little bit here and there along the way, but then in 2020, Emerson passed away, and along with less conditions that are good for ice boating.
Yes, a lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes have been happening.
And that's why the generational thing is so important, because humans have lifespans, and I lost my best partner.
Yep.
It's hard. It's not easy to.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the generational thing can be tough when you lose people with knowledge, people you've sailed with for years. It's important that we did it together, because the knowledge isn't lost. I've been taking a few years where I haven't been as involved with it, so hopefully I'll be able to get past that, or to get back into it, because I do carry the knowledge, and I feel a little bit responsibility to pass it on to my children. I've been out there, like they've had the boats out, and I've gone down, but I haven't had the Hound out yet.
The desire to get down there and have the experience to get out on the ice, because you're just not sure if that could be it. That could be it for 4 years, it could be it for 1 year, it could be it for 10 years. You just don't know.
Well, it's been harder to get really good ice. There's no doubt about it. Global warming or climate change or whatever you want to call it is definitely in the works. And boy, you know, back in the 1970s, you could rely on pretty good ice. It's getting rare, those long cold winters. How do you sustain an interest in something where you know, it becomes just an idea and less of an actuality? I mean, you know, we've loved this sport, and it's been, you know, as people have for generations before us. And if you're really patient, if you can find good ice, I mean, you might have to go north to find good conditions, or find any conditions. The objects, the boats themselves, I think are really worthy. I hope people will remember that this is maybe one thing that in the course of as the world gets warmer, that we're going to lose.
These boats are tucked away in these barns and in these garages, and they're gathering dust, and they're being taken care of. They're protected, they're there, but it's just kind of a hidden gem of the Hudson Valley, that this sport even exists. And you can go It's coming up on a decade since we had a big festival on the ice, and the memory of that hidden gem kind of fades in between that time, and it's hard for like the next generation to really see that spark of how interesting and unique this Hudson Valley historical happening is.
I have always been concerned what is going to happen with the boats as our members get older. The Hudson River Ice Yacht Preservation Trust. So we're going to be a historical society and hopefully a museum. We're going to have the support of the club as advisors so that we can be able to raise money for the preservation of the boats so that they have a future.
The unique thing about this is that these boats are in these garages and in these barns, and they can reemerge at any moment. So even if things do die down or it becomes difficult to pass it from one generation to the next, these boats will be there to be rediscovered.